Welcome back to TCL Scorpion 72. Today, taking a look at the DC Comics icons, John Stewart, Green Lantern. Here he is in winter box packaging, showing you all the accessories and changeable hands he comes with. It's based on a Mosaic storyline. It's figure number 15. And on the back, you see the other figures in this line, minus Static Shock, who's been pushing back until next year. So without further ado, let's check out the figure inside.
Alright, my TCLs, here we have the John Stewart out of the package, Green Lantern, based on the Mosaic storyline. So this storyline is a four-parter. I don't remember it too well. It's like when they had the Green Lantern series when he started back, when Hal Jordan came back. They did like 3 or 4 parters, concentrating on one character. So he is so far in this wave of 3 figures, the one that's most kitted out with accessories. So what does he include? He can include his lantern, 3 constructs, or more like bursts. So there's a little kind of like a energy type burst there with a little loop around it and stuff. I find this is more of, it's almost like he's about to construct something. Then there's this one which is energy flowing out, and these all fit onto his hand. And there's this one, the star one, it's like his ring is about to fire out or something. This is probably my favorite one here. So he comes with 2 sets of arms and hands, and he comes with 1 changeable fist. So the lantern fits, by the way, really well. And it's funny because his lantern is a lot bigger than Hal Jordan's lantern. The size matters there with the lanterns. It still contains the same amount of power. I'm going to have a picture of the 2 lanterns side by side to show you the difference. But I like this one. It's very well detailed. Even their lanterns are super detailed. Really well nice and really well sculpted.
As you can very well see, there's a big difference in lantern size. John Stewart's lantern being on the left and Hal Jordan's on the right. Don't know what made the DC Collectibles decide to change the size of the lanterns, but nevertheless, it gives a little kind of uniqueness to John Stewart's lantern.
So we're going to move on to articulation with him. Articulation is as follows. His head goes side to side and can look down but can't really look up, which is a bummer because he is a flyer. My thing in most of my videos I've always talked about is that all action figures should be able to have the ability to look up and down. Mainly anybody who flies or swim should automatically be put on that list to have articulation, a ball joint on their head to do so. He cannot really look, he can't look up at all, and he's a flyer. So that's one of my main problems with this right off the bat, is that he can't look up. Arms can go outwards, downwards, swivel on the bicep, double jointed elbows. There's a swivel here in the glove, that's due to it being changeable. Swivel here in the wrist and pivot in the wrist. Upper chest articulation, that's where you're going to get your swivel there and twist. He has an ab crunch that goes forward, backwards. Leg here. Now, the difference in his legs is that it's all still at that ball joint thing to give that little twist. But what's different is that it drops down now. So what they did with him is they dropped it down, have the ability to drop down so you get more turn, you can twist them up and get a little bit more like posability with him with that. So that's pretty neat. Double jointed knees, and of course it has ankle pivot and ankle rocker swivel. There's no swivel in the calves, and that's basically how these icons are basically built. Speaking of built, I have a comparison picture, but they seem to be getting a little bit taller. So they seem to be really coming around exactly at the 6 inch. As it progresses now, these guys are getting a little bit, like about a half inch taller where they're supposed to be. So I think it has to do with them going to different factories and stuff and adjusting the plastics and all that stuff. So now the heights are, it's a nice and good height and it's good feel. It's still solid plastic and everything. His design is really well done. There's no paint, well, there's one paint blemish on mine. There's a little green here on this upper chest there and stuff like that. What I find really cool about him with the paint job is they even painted underneath his feet. Like, how's that for detail? Like, look at that, there's a green stripe and stuff underneath his feet to complete his costume. That is pretty neat. And for those of you who are DC collectible, DC Universe classics fans and stuff, if you kept any of your Green Lantern members, especially Catman Tui, then you're in luck, because she works really well with John Stewart here. She's right around his height. She might look a little bit taller, but not by much. But as you can see, it really makes a nice match. I have him a little bit lean forward, that's why. And there we go. So there you go. Those of you who don't know, Catman Tui was his girlfriend back in the comics. I think she was, I forgot who she was killed by or something like that. I wasn't sure it was Mongo or another one of the villains, the Cyborg Superman. Either way, there you go. So he can be stand by side by his girlfriend at the time, or even just any other member of the Green Lantern Corps, especially any of the aliens and stuff. If you kept them as Kilowog, they'll fit right in with this.
I'm really impressed and happy the way John Stewart turned out in this line.
So his accessories, pretty neat. I'm going to show you the fist first. So this fist here has the Green Lantern ring, and that's the only thing that's kind of a bummer. It's just a round little painted dot. It's not sculpted. So you take this out and you put this in. The hand always pull forward so that we don't break the peg, and there you go. So now you can fit any of these type of bursts on his hand, which look really cool. And then we have this one, plugs right at home. Very clever, really well done. It's really neat idea. This one would be really good for Guy Gardner, since he always has like energy currents coming out his ring lately, the way they redid him when he returned in Green Lantern Rebirth. And like I said, this one's pretty much my favorite. It just looks nice. It's just something about it. It's just simple and just like, it's just really cool. I just really like that one.
I'm really impressed with the gimmick they use here, and I hope they use it to other figures that require it, and hopefully maybe an accessory pack down the road to do a number 2. It gives extra hands for any other Green Lantern members that come along in this line.
So that's pretty cool what they did. Now, problem number 2, I'm pointing out there's a lot of good with him, but there's a few bad, like other than the head, not being able to look upwards. His arms, when you change them, you can no longer use this hand, or you cannot use the accessories that he comes with, because there's no hole in this ring. So to change it, goes as follows. You just take out the line like that, and there you go. So you can have him without the white gloves, because as you know, he's normally not wearing the white gloves, or he wears black arm guards, the part gloves, and his hands are bare. So just plug that in like this, and there you go. So now you have a completely different looking John Stewart. With that being said, you can still remove the hand here and put in that, but then it looks like he's got this part here, and then he just has the white gloves, which I'm going to show.
So here you have John Stewart with the butler hands, I call him, because he's wearing the white gloves like a butler or a driver or something like that. And then even with the cuffs there, he has his plain hands. Really cool. There's a height comparison between him and Hal Jordan, and that hand with the whole peg can fit in Hal Jordan. Even though it looks a little bit bigger, like he has a big fist, it does help to give him a change around and use accessories.
So there you have another TCL's review of John Stewart, the Green Lantern. Should be out there at comic book shops, online retailers, whichever store carries the DC Icons lines. You're collecting this line ready I'm sure you probably completed this. You're picking all of them up. If not, I do recommend picking them up. They seem to be getting better and better with each figure. I have no complaints or anything about them so far, other than minor nitpicks I'm pointing out. Those things can be fixed, and if they fix them now, and the line going forward, once you start getting into more characters, it won't be so problematic. And I can't wait to get the rest of the figures. A lot of stuff has been pushed back, as I did in my other video, whereas like not as many figures that are supposed to come out this year are coming out. They're all coming out next year. So next year it's looking like it's going to be the biggest year where icons, it's just going to be like almost every month next year there's going to be some kind of DC icons figures. This is Scorpion72 telling you to enjoy your toys. Until next time, keep playing. Ciao.
1, 2, 3, 4. I like videos. You like videos.